5 Best Movies of Rajkumar Rao's Career pre-Omerta. Number 5 Shahid. Along with the 2014 film Court, Shahid is the finest movie about the Indian legal system we have had in the last decade. But while Court was more satirical in tone, Shahid is a film clearly inspired by Italian neorealism, brutally stark, unfuzzy, and shot with the rugged authenticity that can only come with handheld cameras. It's almost as if Hansel pointed the camera in Rajkumar's direction and let him loose. Some takes are unbearably uncomfortable, and this fearlessness has given us performances that has an unhinged sincerity and passion that we rarely see in Indian movies. Number 4 City Lights. Of all the movies on this list, perhaps the only one that couldn't quite attain the phenomenal highlights of the rest is City Lights, but that is probably because I hold the original that it is based on Metromania in such high rating. However, Hansal and Rajkumar effectively transport the flavor of the Filipino city in modern Mumbai and zero in on the sad realization that while we may be separated by borders, in fact, of grief and survival, we are all the same. Number 3 Aligarh. There are very few Indian movies made with the empathy and sensitivity of Aligarh. It's a heartbreaking tragedy of one man trying to survive in a world that doesn't accept him. Like the film, Ramchandra Siras, a homosexual professor at Aligarh Muslim University, was beaten down, repressed, and gagged, usually by those in positions of power. He was isolated, assaulted, persecuted, and shamed, but we often know that the pain he lived with now. We know his story, a story that will live for eternity, as a warning, but also as a sign of hope. And it makes you wonder how could someone try to bury a tale of beautiful as this. It's also a great example of cinematic restraint, both of the films and the central performances. While the rest of the films on this list features in a leading role Rajkumar, but that is a Manoj Bajpayee's movie to carry, but he could not have done what he did without Rajkumar's support. Together, they achieved greatness. Number 2 Newton. As the lines between art and propaganda blur, there is one bright spot. It feels sort of reductive to label Newton as a social drama. It isn't, at least not in the way that some of Akshay Kumar's films are. But it's a film that has anger in its heart and spirit in its veins. Like Shahid, it points the spotlight in the direction of a systematic problem in our nation that we simply have not paid enough attention to, like the legal system, broken, corrupt, compromised in parts. Making a film about rigged elections take courage. Number 1 Trapped. There are bad Rajkumar Rao films, but never a bad Rajkumar Rao performance. Trapped is neither. It is like similar vanity projects such as All in Lost, Buried, Lok, A Virtuistic Man, a film that has at its center a performance so commanding that you forget that you're watching an actor at all. But not enough people realize how risky films such as this really are. In the wrong hands, it could have turned into an unbearable exercise in self-praise. It's not. Under Vikramaditya Motwani's deft direction, the film becomes a statement on our place in the world, sort of like City Lights.